T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. My life has value.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Global Watchman News. My name is Lori Swan. Hope you guys are all doing well. If you were in the live chat, we do ask that you keep it family friendly. There will be moderators in there to make sure that we stay within the terms of service put forth to us by the platform you're utilizing tonight. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Take a minute, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know we go live. Hey, Ernie.
How's it going, Lori?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Blessed
Good.
and thankful that God got us out of this past week and onto another week. And
yeah, last week was crazy. For those of you, I want to make an apology for canceling last week's show with Big John on Wednesday, but we had some pretty serious storms move through here, and we lost internet for a couple of days.
yes, y'all did. And I was away anyway, so I wouldn't even be able to get on the broadcast.
Right. Yeah, you had some personal issues going on as well. So we are back on schedule. We are back on track. And I'm going to preface tonight's show by saying a couple of things. First off, viewer discretion is advised. And I say that because of the topic at hand. We're going to be talking about some things that are going to make you feel uncomfortable. They're going to raise a lot of emotions in you, possibly anger, righteous anger. It's definitely righteous anger, and questions. And we're going to get into some things. And I'm also going to preface this by saying, if you come onto my channel, and if you think for 1 minute you're going to attack anybody here in the chat room and comments, myself or Ernie, for putting this information out there, think again. If you are a person who defends people who hurt children, you are just as much of a scumbag as the person hurting the child. I'm prepared to lose our channel tonight. Ernie and I have already discussed this. We've already decided that if we lose the channel tonight, that this was a topic worthy of us losing it, right?
It is. I mean, I talked to you yesterday about it, and it's about time that us believers speak up.
Yeah.
I mean, we keep getting censored left and right for our belief system, but it comes a time when you need to make a stand.
Exactly.
Righteously and non-violently. We use our mouths as our weapon, and it's about time that we dive into this and talk about what's really going on and call people out, because enough is enough.
Exactly. Person we're going to be talking tonight is actually a few people. One in particular we're going to be talking about is the Dalai Lama. You guys have probably heard he's been in the news the last couple of days, because of some disgusting behavior towards a minor child. We're going to get into that. He apparently has apologized. But you know what, Dalai Lama? We don't accept your apology because you touched a child inappropriately. We're going to get into that. We're also going to get into the NXIVM sex cult and how the Dalai Lama is tied in with that. Did you guys know that? Oh, yeah. Dalai Lama is definitely in bed, so to speak, with the NXIVM sex cult. And that is going to take us into Richard Branson in Necker Island. And we're going to get into his involvement with the NXIVM sex cult, which is also going to take us into the Bitcoin summit. We're going to be talking about how Bitcoin is all involved in this as well. Do want to start out by saying the children are a precious gift from God. As adults, we have the privilege and responsibility to care for them. Pray for all children's protection and safety, and help children around us live to the full and abundant life God desires for them. Sadly, love and security aren't the reality for hundreds of millions of children who suffer from sexual exploitation, labor in hazardous conditions, or struggle to survive on the streets. In some places, warfare can separate children from their families, leaving them vulnerable to exploitation. Children are also forced to join armed rebel groups to serve as soldiers, porters, sex slaves, and more. Extreme drought and hunger forces families to make desperate choices about putting children to work or girls into child marriage. Despite being outlawed in many countries, girls are still undergoing female genital mutilation, and some girls aren't born at all because of prenatal sex selection. In other places, children are trafficked for sex, sent to work in dangerous factories, and locked into domestic servitude. And in some countries, the United States included, gang violence tears families apart and creates a culture of violence that draws youth into harmful activities. Child abuse, neglect, exploitation, child labor, bodily harm, child marriage, and other forms of harm against a child, even murder and child sacrifice, are among the greatest evils in this world. If you don't believe these things are happening, you are blind to the evils of this world. If you want to call us conspiracy theorists because we believe that this is happening, that children are being exploited, children are being torn away from their families, children are being sold on the black market, on the dark web, if you think that that is not happening, you are sadly mistaken, because it happens every day. 8,000 children go missing in the United States every year. Just in the United States. Do you have any idea where those children go? Have you ever gone into Walmart and looked up on the wall and seen all those pictures of those missing children? Those aren't the same children. Go across the border to another state. Go into another Walmart. The pictures are different. And you've got people like government officials, like Hollywood stars, like religious leaders that are exploiting and sexually destroying our children. And again, if you want to come here and you want to say that we are for this, that we support it, that we are any way involved in it, you are a sorry, sick individual. There are people out there that risk their lives every day to bring predators to justice. You should be worshiping the ground they walk on, not putting them down and making them the bad guys. Because if you're defending anybody who lays a hand on a child, you're just as bad as the person that's touched that child. Here's the first one we're going to talk about tonight.
And before you even go in there, this is not just a call out to those people in notoriety. This is a call out to the church as well. You are just as complicit as these individuals that we're going to be talking about for tonight for not exposing what's going on in this world, especially in the religious system.
Right.
I'm calling the priests out. I'm calling the pastors out. I'm calling the deacons out. I'm calling the congregation out. You claim to be of the Most High God, but yet you turn a blind eye when stuff like this happens.
That's because, Ernie, a lot of the church officials, a lot of the pastors, a lot of the priests, they're involved in it.
Exactly.
There's a church right now in Grand Island, New York, that a woman is calling out the members of the church, and she's being threatened. They're threatening her life, and every single time she gets a threat from them, she puts out another name, and that's the way it should be. These churches, and it's every church. It's the Mormon church, it's the Catholic church, it's the Presbyterian churches, it's all of these churches. They handle it internally. They don't take it to the police. They're going to handle it internally. You know what that means? That means they shove it underneath the carpet and nothing gets done about it. Absolutely nothing. And in most times, the child is again going to suffer because the child has to tell these people what has been happening to them and then continue to see these same people that have violated them on a weekly basis or sometimes on a daily basis if it's a school, and have to face their accusers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they have a way of hiding things, and those who are those that know what's going on are too limp-wristed and doesn't have a spine to go ahead and expose them. That's the issue.
Did I say 8,000 kids or 800,000? I meant to say 800,000. I don't know. I think I said 8,000. I meant to say 800,000. Yes, 800,000 children in the United States every year go missing. Why is it my phone, Ernie, why is my phone not blowing up with Amber Alerts? You know why? Let me tell you a little bit of backstory about Haiti. Back in the first Haitian earthquake, there was a woman. Her name was I can't even think about it. Laura Silsby. Her name was Laura Silsby. She worked for the Clintons, and she went over to Haiti. And she got arrested trying to take 33 children over the border to the Dominican Republic. And she was arrested for child trafficking. and the Clintons got her out. They got her a reduced sentence. You know what? She changed her name. And you want to know what she's in charge of right now in the United States? The Amber Alert system. That doesn't make you sick. I don't even know.
And don't get us started about CPS.
And yeah, and CPS. CPS is not even. It's not controlled by the government. It's not under government control. It's a private entity, and every child that they take, they are taking for a trafficker. I firmly believe that.
Oh yeah. They're all in on it.
Every single one of them's in on it. Yes, Steve, you can. Stephen wants to come in. This is for Sentinel of Liberty only. There you go. Yes, Phyllis, the Amber Alert system is advertisement as well. Go ahead, come on in, Steve, and then we're gonna get into the Dalai Lama. We're going to get into what actually set me off and set Ernie off down this topic. And again, I'm going to put up here that parental discretion is advised. Viewer discretion is advised. This show is not for anybody under 18. If you have a child in the room, please make sure that they are out of the room because I'm not holding back tonight. Ernie's not holding back, and I know Stephen's not going to as well. Hey, Stephen.
Hey, Lori, how's it going?
Good, hon. How you doing?
Well, I'm not too bad, but hold on, you're about to connect to the car, I think. Stupid Nissan. Can you hear me pretty well?
We can hear you fine.
Yeah, boo, I can hear you.
All right.
Boo.
All right, so I'm going to tell people a story real fast, if that's okay.
Go ahead. You've got the floor.
I want people to understand how this sucks in your local rural areas, even here in the South. Now, I'm going to open up about something. I'm not going to go into any actual details exactly because this is all right. So 2.5 years ago, it was brought to my attention involving my daughter, who was 13 at the time, about a 53-year-old pedophile who is a meth dealer who is involved in Maya's mother. Maya's the name of my daughter. That was flirting with her through Messenger. That was texting her good morning beautiful, things like that. All right. Nothing that would make any good parent okay. Now, my daughter, I do not agree with this whatsoever, but she was subjected to transgenderism, things like that, whatever. I don't agree with it. But this man knew it because of Maya's mother. Even sent her, and I've got these messages through her messenger. I screenshotted them, send them to myself. Everything I'm going to say to anyone, I can back up with documented evidence, including how CPS was negligent and wouldn't do a damn thing. And I apologize for cursing, Lori.
I think all was out the door. Family friendly is out the door tonight.
All right. So this clown, this freaking freak show, sent her a photo of himself in a damn dress, flexing, trying to sexually appeal to her. Now, if that doesn't give a red flag to any damn body, nothing will.
How old is she?
She's 15 now. She's going to be 16 this August. This is what happened when she was 13.
Wow.
13 years old. 13. So this was brought to my attention through my daughter's best friend, because my daughter didn't want to tell me about it because she knew how I'd react, and she wanted to be peaceful because we're divorced and things like that. Yeah. That's zero excuse. So I notified law enforcement that night before I even got the messages. I've got police reports. So I did
Was
a
this-
document. I did a criminal report through McMinnville PD. The officer who responded was very pissed off. She was very upset. She's a damn good officer. She's an amazing officer. She took a criminal report, passed it up to the detective, one of the detectives from McMinnville Police Department.
Did we lose you, Stephen?
Are you there?
There we are. Okay.
Okay, there we go. Sorry,
That's okay.
exception. So, what's the last thing you heard?
That she was very upset. She took the report.
Yeah, she took the report. So she filed it the next morning because she's night shift, and one of the detectives picked it up. It was Detective Jason Rowland with the McMinnville, Tennessee Police Department. Now, he did not like it either, but nothing met the actual statute for, exploiting a minor or anything like that. So I got the messages from Maya a while later. Now, what the detective did, and I apologize for stammering. I'm really upset because this is so freaking sensitive to
I
me.
get it, hon.
So he referred it to Department of Children's Services here in Tennessee, which is the equivalent to CPS. They picked it up. All right. Within a week. Did not get a phone call from the CPS worker named Shelly Smith for weeks. I get they're backlogged, whatever. Who gives a crap? This is pressing.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't care. Which found out, by the way, that they already had an investigation against her mother, which they never followed through with, for truancy. The school notified them. They already had a case.
Wow.
Added to it. Now, here's the kicker here. Maya was interviewed by Department of Children's Services. I showed messages that he sent to Maya, screenshots of this, that was sent to my phone, which is admissible in court. From everything from "Good morning, beautiful," "I love you," this photo of him in a freaking dress flexing to sexually appeal to her. They did nothing. Now, I'm the asshole for trying to protect my daughter. She promised me, Shelly Smith at DCS promised me multiple times that she would take legal action. She would file restraining orders. She's going to get back with these detectives at McMinnville, Tennessee Police Department to take criminal action. They did nothing.
Wow.
They still haven't done anything. They won't do anything. You know why?
Why?
Because Children's Services is in every single state. Children's Services is involved in grooming and child sex trafficking.
Yep.
So they may take your children away and sell them on the market. Now, sometimes, from what I've also found out, because there's a Force Recon Marine named Travis Haley that's involved in nonprofit organizations. And he actually does rescue operations for children outside of government. Even Travis Haley stated that every children's service, CPS, DCS, whatever you want to call them per your state, they're all involved.
They are involved. They have no guidance. They have no oversee. There's no government oversee. They're private entities. They're owned privately, and they can come in. Look at it. Starts right with the birth certificates. When a parent signs a birth certificate, people are like, you can't come in my house and you can't take my children. You need a reason. Child Protective Services or DCF, whatever you want to call it, does not need a reason to come in and get your children. They don't need a reason at all.
Yeah, remember when a woman gives birth to the child, they're considered a ward of the state. We are under maritime admiralty law.
Correct.
Yeah, we are.
Correct.
Which is a gross violation of the United States Constitution.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But see, we've been in active war, even unofficially, since the Civil War.
Civil War. Mm-hmm.
That's when everything took a major turning point, and a lot of people don't realize it. Abraham Lincoln was not this do-good person.
Nope, he wasn't. Yeah, so I mean, when DCF, when Child Protective Services is involved, I know a girl back in the 90s. I met her out in Phoenix, and she knew that I was a researcher. She had seen all of my books, and she, saw my articles that I had written and everything. And she came to me one day and she said, "I need your help." They came. So what happened was she was a single mom,
mm-hmm.
and she had the baby. It was a little boy, and she got sick after she had him, and he was about a week old, and she had nobody, no family, no friends, nobody. So she did not go to the hospital. But then she started getting very sick, and she had no choice. She called an ambulance. They brought the baby with her to the hospital. While she was unconscious and septic, they turned the baby over to CPS. She never saw that little boy again. He supposedly, and he was in air quotes, got lost in the system, and she never saw him again. He was trafficked. He was sold on the black market. I'm convinced of that. And telling her that broke my heart. But it happens all the time.
Yeah, because with the technology and stuff they have, they know what they're doing. There's no hiccups and whatnot.
Exactly.
When you see 800,000 kids getting abducted per year, they got their finger on the pulse.
Exactly. So is this still an open case, Sentinel? I think we lost Stephen again.
Yeah, it seems like it.
All right. Hopefully we get Stephen back, because I would like to know if this is an open case or not. There you are.
Okay. Yes, this is still an open case.
Okay.
I have been to the district attorney. Now the previous district attorney, which there was a regime change in Warren County in this past September. But she was do nothing anyway. Lisa Zavianis, man, she was a horrible freaking prosecutor, a liberal Democrat, of course. Now there is a new prosecutor, Chris Stanford. He's actually a pretty good dude. I was actually going to at one point retain him for things like this, but he had even told me, because now my daughter's turned against me, and there's a lot of other things which I'll tell you and Ernie.
Yeah, do that privately.
Because it's deeply personal and spiritual
absolutely.
based.
Yeah.
But we're just focusing on the facts here with how children are in this and how it affects everybody even in rural areas in small town Tennessee.
Yeah.
There was actually a case. It was a little over a year ago in Warren County. One of my friends works at Walmart. Notified law enforcement. Now check this, guys. Notified law enforcement because he was a door greeter that day, and he sees this little girl walk in with this older man, and gives this hand signal. I can't really remember it, but it's please help me. He recognized that, called law enforcement. Law enforcement responded, approached the man, arrested him because this little girl was literally just reported being kidnapped hours earlier in DeKalb County, which is the county right north of Warren County. And come to find out with the investigation, he was involved in child sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Guys, this is everywhere. It's not just New York City. It's not
No.
just Los Angeles. This is small town Tennessee. This is small town Alabama. This is small town everywhere. These people have their tentacles in every jurisdiction there is, local, state, and federal. The severity of this is far beyond most people's comprehension. It's people you know. You know people right now, every single one of you, that is being stalked at least one point by somebody who's involved in this. If you have minor children, you better carry a firearm and you better be trained. And you better have strict situational awareness. This is freaking everywhere, guys.
Yeah, it's not like it used to be when we were younger, when our parents could take us, we would go outside alone and play, and
Right.
what was the rule was, the street lights came on, you went home. We don't live in that world anymore.
We don't.
Sure
Like
don't.
I was a teenager in the 90s, and it was the same thing. Like, dude, you didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, go out and play. I took my little backpack and my BB gun, and I'd be back when the sun goes down.
Right, and we didn't have cell phones to keep an eye on. I mean, you called, the neighbors. Hey, is Lori over there? No, she's not. I think she's over to Susie's house, and
Right.
I'll call over there, or I'll send little Timmy over to see if she's over next door. I mean, but no parents we didn't have to worry,
Right.
like we do now. Now,
Right.
I just did the math. So 800,000 kids go missing every single year. That comes out to 2,192 kids every day.
Mm-hmm.
So 2191 divided by 24, that's 91 children an hour.
Yep. And you know what? The system overall does not give a damn about any of them. Now, you have law enforcement out there. Now, keep this in mind, guys. There are a lot of amazing police officers out there that do care. But the problem lies within CPS, district attorney's offices, and judges.
Right.
That's where a lot of the issues lies. And that's why I've been saying for a long time now, even on this show, local elections matter. More important than state and federal at this point. It's your first and last line of defense.
Yeah. What makes me sick also is that you have these mentally unstable people who, in this world that we live in, have vendettas against people. They know they have children, and to get even with the parents, they're going to call CPS and make false reports. How dare you put a child in danger like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and they put in those false reports. There is nothing you can do about it.
No.
Nope.
They are required to follow up, and that gives them legal access into your home. They can take the child with no regard.
Right. And the thing about false reports is this. I've been subjected to a false report years ago for protecting my daughter. Now, it wasn't a DCS investigation. Well, there was, but I filed it. I actually got brought up on false charges and had a false conviction made against me. Why? For protecting my daughter. That's how the system works.
Yeah.
Now, a kid subjected to a false report against the parent through CPS, well, guess what? That child is more likely to be taken away from you than actual legitimate investigation where action can be taken.
Absolutely, 100%. You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
I'm going to hop off here, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for sharing your story with us. We'll keep you and your family in our prayers, and we're here for you, Stephen.
I appreciate
it.
I love this, and I'm going to listen. I'll be in chat.
Okay.
All right, man.
Bye, guys.
Yeah. This is a very serious problem here in the United States. Not only for CPS and everything, but I mean, and then you've got these politicians, you've got these high-ranking people who people look up to. You've got Hollywood stars, Hollywood singers and songwriters, and back in the 1980s we had Elfie Soda Pop Cafe, I think it was called, where all the 80s kids, the children stars back there, the Alyssa Milano's and the Corey Haim and the two Coreys, and they all have the same story. They were all sexually abused and molested and exploited as children. And this is just something that people think it goes on behind closed doors, or they think that because they don't hear it on the mainstream media that it doesn't exist. I'm here to tell you it does. It's real, and children are targeted every single day. Let's get back on topic.
Sad.
We're going to talk about this man right here. He's been in the news the last couple of days. His name is the Dalai Lama. I really didn't know what the Dalai Lama was. I think we've all heard of him. But the Dalai Lama is it's a title given by the Tibetan people to the foremost spiritual leader, or he's called the Yellow Hat School of Tibetan Buddhism, the newest and most dominant of the four major schools of the Tibetan Buddhism. The 14th and current Dalai Lama is Tenzin Gyatso, who lives as a refugee in India. The Dalai Lama is also considered to be the successor in line of the Tulkus, who are believed to be the incarnations of these, I don't know, demigods, whatever. But this guy here is the foremost, one of the highest in regards spiritual leaders of the world. Like, he's up there with like the Pope. Right.
And it's a term that everybody knows.
Right. All right. Well, what happened? Well, we're going to tell you what happened. What happened? The Dalai Lama was seen a couple of days ago with a child, a minor. And, well, let's watch it.
Viewer discretion is advised once again. If you don't have the stomach for this, do not watch it. Just look away and just listen.
Then I think finally here also. And suck my tongue. And suck my tongue.
Utterly freaking disgusting. I am at a loss for words. When I first saw that, I threw my phone. You gotta. What's even worse about this is the people in the background laughing. How dare you laugh at something as appalling as this? A grown old man subjecting himself onto a child, an innocent child.
He issued an apology, and this is the message to the Dalai Lama. We don't accept it. We don't accept your apology.
In the name of Jesus, I rebuke you. You are a demon. You're nothing but a toothless lion. Jesus said that you ought to have a millstone wrapped around your neck than to do these types of things to God's children.
Exactly. Dalai Lama apologizes after video asking child to suck his tongue sparked outcry. He apologized for one reason and one reason only. And that's because he got caught. That's because there was a public outcry. There was no other reason. Since the Dalai Lama has apologized, we don't accept it. After a video emerged showing the spiritual leader kissing a child on the lips and then asking him to suck my tongue in an event in northern India. In a statement Monday, the Office for the Dalai Lama said he wishes to apologize to the boy and his family, as well as many friends across the world, for the hurt his words may have caused, adding he regrets the incident. No, you regret you got caught.
No, he doesn't regret he got caught. He did it in the public. Let's get that out of there right now. He apologized if he offended you. He didn't apologize for the act.
He's 87 years old. How old do you think that little boy was? 6? Maybe? 7? Man's 87 years old. You filthy and disgusting human being. It doesn't surprise me that this man is filthy and disgusting. Look at some of the people he hangs around. I don't know if you can see that. He's got the, look at the one eye symbolism up the top.
Double horns on the top right.
Double horns on the top right. The one in the middle, the shh. Look at the one at the bottom, second row left. The little girl with her tongue out on his neck.
Yep.
King Charles. He's down there with Obama. Lady Gaga. Remember Lady Gaga with Abramovich in the spirit cooking. Disgusting pieces of crap. There's he with it's Pope Paul, I think. I think that's Pope Paul. And we got him over there with Bush. And we got him up there with, what's her name? I always forget her name.
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi, yeah. There he is with the Bushes again. We got another one here. Doesn't surprise me that he'd like to offer his hearty congratulations to Joe Biden. You know, Sniffy Joe. I guess when you like kids, you stick together, don't you? Well, you probably would have to, wouldn't you? You know, if you stick with people that do what you know, your little sick rituals that you do, you stick together, because that way you don't have to worry about it, you know, it getting out.
You know, as the saying goes, birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah, there you go. Got some more pictures of him. Let's not forget the hot dog parties that Obama used to have at the White House. Let's not forget the Secret Service saying that he used to sneak in young underage little boys for Obama. Let's
Before you change that photo, Lori, notice behind Obama's ear. What is that?
What are you talking about?
Looks like a wrinkle.
Yeah, he's got scars in his skull. He's got scars, and that could be another show, because I have a theory on the scars, because he's got quite a few scars on the back. Looks like scars from surgical procedures, but we can get into that on another show. But yeah, he does. Here we have him. Here we've got him with Sniffy Joe again.
The real Joe Biden.
The real Joe Biden. Yeah, exactly. Now, what, Lori and Uri, okay, so the guy did this, okay, we get it, we understand that, he may have made a mistake. What gives you the right to call this man a pedophile? What gives you the right to call this man anything but, he made a mistake. He's a godly man, Lori. Really? Dalai Lama was paid $1 million to endorse the woman branding sex cult. You guys ever hear of the NXIVM sex cult? The New York NXIVM sex cult? has to do with Keith Raniere, Allison Mack, Claire Brothman. She was the Seagram's heiress. You guys remember that? Do you remember that secret, that NXIVM cult? Yeah. Well, guess what? When you bring up the NXIVM cult, guess who's in with it? Here he is. Guess who that's with? That's Keith Raniere. And guess who that is? The Dalai freaking Lama. Oh, yeah. Buddhist leader the Dalai Lama was linked to NXIVM, the controversial self-help organization described by former members as a sex cult. He spoke in an event in Albany, New York in 2009, put a Tibetan scarf around the neck of founder Keith Raniere, in what is said to be a victory for NXIVM. Dalai Lama was given $1 million to spend on his causes that he backs in return for attending the function. The deal to get him to go was made by Sarah Brothman, a billionaire heiress to the Seagram fortune, and Lama Tenzin Doden, head of the Dalai Lama's U.S. Trust. Tenzin is this guy. Give me a second. Right here. That's his number 2. And this guy here got thrown out. He got relieved of his duties. And he got relieved of his duties because as second in behind the Dalai Lama, he is supposed to be celibate. And he was having an affair with Sarah Brothman, the Seagram heiress. And here he is with this girl. Her name is Allison Mack. She's a star of Smallville. And she was part of the NXIVM cult. And you want to know where this picture was taken? This picture was taken on Richard Branson's island called Necker Island. And where is it? They were on Necker Island. Give me just a second. I have to bring it up. 2 seconds here. I've got a lot of things pulled up. Here we go. NXIVM went to Necker Island. They went and partied on Richard Branson's private island in hopes to recruit him, in hopes to recruit Branson into NXIVM. Well, it would seem that he had something to do with it because he endorsed NXIVM. Richard Branson's endorsement of NXIVM event and Keith Raniere appeared online nearly 10 years on the website of one of Claire and Sarah Brothman's foundation, the worldethicalfoundation.org. The website was originally created in 2009 to announce that the Dalai Lama and Raniere were teaming up for 4 days in Albany to teach the world how to be more ethical. Can you believe that the leader of the NXIVM sex cult and this pedophile Dalai Lama were joining forces to teach ethical, the world, teach them how to be more ethical? Hello? What?
You know what? To the masses, I'm going to tell you this right now. Y'all been played. Get your head out of your behind. It's all connected. It's just oh my God, there's so much hypocrisy going on in just those few sentences right there. It's baffling how people overlook this type of stuff.
Yeah. The website posted numerous endorsements for the event, including Branson's high praise. The event was originally canceled, but the Dalai Lama did make a one-day appearance in Albany with Rainier that appeared with him on the stage. And the World Ethical Foundation website went offline following the arrest of Rainier and Claire Brofman. I wonder why.
Yep.
But there he is with Keith Rainier on stage. He greeted him, got $1 million for it. And when the NXIVM went to Necker Island, his second in command, Tesdean, I don't know how to pronounce it, Tesdean, went with them. And they appeared on the island. And you can see, I have pictures here. There's one picture from the island. There's another from the island. Another one. There, Brofman. There's one from the island. Oops, that was that one. Here we go. Claire Brofman. She's the heiress of convicted felon and former leader of NXIVM. Her father was, the Seagram Liquor, Edgar Brofman Sr. Here we have, this is both Allison Mack on the right, Claire Brofman on the left. Let's see, what else do I got here? Okay, let me take this out. Stop. Whoops. Okay. Let's go to Necker Island. Let's pull up my map here. Necker Island. What's Necker Island? Where is Necker Island? Necker Island is in the British Virgin Islands. You can see it is down here. I'll bring it down a little bit. Oops. Necker Island. There we go. This is Necker Island right here. Give it a couple of minutes. Necker Island. All right. Ernie, what other island is in this area?
Oh, a little somebody that didn't kill himself.
Yeah, sure is. And that would be over in this area right here. I did a live stream with Linda Lemons back in 2000. I think it was 18 or 19. And my husband helped me map this out. And I believe when he pulled up on Google Earth, it was something like 30 miles by helicopter from Necker Island to Little St. James. Want to know who vacations on this island? Who's that?
Oh, that's good old Bummer.
Yeah, and there's Richard Branson is there. I'm going to show you guys something. So here he is, all right? And this is the same day. This was all taken the same day. They went to Necker Island, him and Michelle or Michael, whatever the hell you want to call that thing. And they vacationed there after he lost the presidency. And here he is up on, I think he's, what is it, airboarding?
Waterboarding or wakeboarding.
Wakeboarding, yeah. Look in the back and you'll see this tower. And to the, okay, so you see the big tower in the middle, right above his head. And then to the left at about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you'll see a hut, a thatched hut. All right. There's Necker Island, and there's the 3-tier, and there's the thatched hut. So I can tell you 100% that this was Necker Island. And here he is with the blue helmet. There he is with the blue helmet. There's the two structures. There they are right there. So that is definitely been identified as Necker Island that he was at. So what's so important about Necker Island? Aside from the fact that NXIVM, sex cult, decided to have parties there and try to recruit Richard Branson. Well, there's more to Necker Island. And it has to do with Bitcoin. You guys, you know what Jekyll Island is?
It's a very infamous island. No,
Yeah.
that for sure.
Yeah, Jekyll Island was where the Federal Reserve was created.
Exactly.
Yeah. The meeting on Jekyll Island took place from November 20th, 1910 to November 30th, 1910. It was a secret gathering at a secluded island off the coast of Georgia. Laid the foundations for the Federal Reserve System. There were 6 men: Nelson Aldrich, A. Platt Andrew, Henry Davidson, Arthur Shelton, Frank Vanderslip, and Paul Warburg, who, by the way, was wasn't even a United States citizen. He was a German that they believe was a spy, but that's a whole different show. So they met, and they met in secret. Okay, they met in secret, and the Bitcoin Illuminati, which is it's called the Blockchain Summit, took place, and the very first meeting that they had was done in secret. Ernie, refresh my memory, but isn't blockchain supposed to be public?
It is. It's supposed to be very public.
So why is there like this hierarchy of blockchain Bitcoin people having secret meetings, making a game plan up for it in the future?
Well, we have to look at who is behind Bitcoin and who bought a controlling stake in Bitcoin.
But this was even before this was before it. This was when
when stuff like that is done in silent, and especially when it comes to currency and finance, I can almost guarantee that it was done during this time, if not earlier.
Yeah. Well, they put these people in place. Let me just read this. As a blockchain technology could bring $20 trillion worth of capital into the world economy and help lift people out of poverty, according to a plan by economist Hernando de Soto and Peruvian presidential candidate Kaleo Fujimori. Their video conference presentation was one of many highlights of Sir Richard Branson's second annual Blockchain Summit on Necker Island, which recently hosted 40 Bitcoin Illuminati, according to Forbes. The attendees included an aerospace. Now remember, Bitcoin's supposed to be public. It's supposed to be for everybody. But it says here the attendees included an aerospace engineer, a musician, a derivatives specialist, the founder of a Chinese fintech museum, and former Pentagon and CIA and Department of Homeland Security officials. Sponsors included Maitai Global, a nonprofit event organizers, and Bitfury Group, a Bitcoin blockchain services and chip manufacturing provider and miner. It sounds like a who's who of Bitcoin, but yet it's supposed to be all public.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you said the special I word as well.
Illuminati.
Yep, and you find out the actual names of the people who attended, I can guarantee you they had ties to that same I word.
Right. Well, boom. This comes right from Bitcoin.com. Rothschild Investment Corporation becomes Bitcoin stakeholder. Doesn't sound like it's a private entity. It doesn't sound like it's going to be at all protective of the common John Doe or Jane Doe when the time comes for the economy to crash, does it?
You're absolutely right.
Huh.
You see, I told you, all comes together. Well, all
Oh,
this stuff they're saying, oh, we need to invest in cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. They're behind it all. They have been behind it all. They created it.
they created it. Exactly. They created it. And these people just eat it up and push it. I actually lost a very good friend. I haven't spoken to him in quite a while, for the reason of that I kept telling him whenever he would post something about Bitcoin, I would just stop.
Is there money to be made on it? Was.
There was, until Rothschilds and these millionaires.
They wanted to make it appealing at first. You got to
Yeah.
look at what the devil and his schemes are trying to do. We talked about this with Dr. Joy about narcissism. Narcissism love bomb you, promise you the world and all that stuff. And to an extent, they fulfill some of those promises. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, they will end up taking everything from you, monitoring you, blackmailing you, the whole 9 yards to
Yeah.
lead you into submission. And that's exactly what these people who are investing in the blockchain system are doing.
Exactly. And now that we also know about the 5G and the Internet of Things hooking up to an individual person, and they're going to be mining, they're going to be blockchain mining money off of people, off of everything you do, off of things that you use your phones for, or whichever you use the 5G and connect to the Internet of Things. They're going to be mining you. So not only has the Federal Reserve and the IRS and the United States government taken you as human resources and used you as collateral against the World Bank to secure loans, but now they're going to be using you to what do I say, power the beast system.
Absolutely. Man, this
Wasn't
is
there a-
all part of the beast system once it comes into place.
Correct. Wasn't there a Black Mirror? It was something on Netflix. I think it was either a Black Mirror. It was they lived in these little tiny cubbies, and they would go out every day and they would ride these bikes, and they would get so much money to like go get food and stuff. But they were powering. They were generating power, and this was their job. I think it was a Black Mirror. Nothing is safe. They are coming after every aspect of your life. And if you think that your children are safe, they're not. If you think your money is safe, it's not. You think your way of life is safe, it's not. You think your religion is safe, it's not. They're coming after every aspect of our lives.
Oh, and for those people like, oh, we're gonna do gold and silver and precious stones and try to get away from the blockchain. Yeah, it's temporarily going to be a solution, but when it all comes down to it, they're gonna deem everything worthless.
Exactly.
Because they have control of value, they have control over money, and most importantly, they have control over time. So when they say their Fed Now system is the only thing that is going to be currency, what good is it to have gold and silver?
You're not going to, because it's not going to be able, you're not going to be able to pay cash for anything anymore. You're not going to be able to barter with things anymore. And they're going to know it. They're going to know it because you're going to be hooked up to the Internet of Things. They're going to know everything. They're going to know where you are, what you're doing, who you're with, what you're saying, what you're looking at, what your plans are. They're going to know before you even think it, what you're going to have for dinner tonight. Your houses are going to be hooked up to it. You're going to it's going to make Orwell's 1984 look like a walk in the park. Orwell just scratched the surface of what is going to be like.
Yeah. And why do you think they're pushing all this smart technology into your homes? Why do you think
Oh,
they're
yeah.
doing mobile payment systems? Why do you think that everything is done online right now?
Yeah.
Why do you think the stores are going out of business and transitioning to online services?
Yep.
It's all part of the master plan to get everybody off the dollar.
Yeah.
I don't know
Universal
if you've
basic
seen it in the
income.
news that multiple different countries are coming together to create their own currency to deem the US dollar worthless.
Yeah.
That's all part of it to create that global system of currency.
Exactly. And once they start with the social credit system, the universal basic income, and click it all, switch it all over, we're literally going to be in the beast system. The mark of the beast will be coming as soon as, guys, remember, don't be saying this is the mark of the beast, this is the mark of the beast. No, this is the mark of the beast. Understand that the Antichrist is the one that brings the mark of the beast. We are not there yet. The Antichrist has not been presented to us yet. And the mark of the beast doesn't come until halfway point. He's going to love bomb us. He's going to give us his freedom. He's going to make us a protection. He's going to say, peace and love. And then at the 3.5 mark, that is when he's going to turn. That's when the mark of the beast is going to be presented. We haven't got that far yet. Now, is it part of the beast system? Yes, but it's not the mark of the beast.
Yeah, because we don't necessarily know truly what it is. It hasn't been revealed to us yet,
No.
but we will know it once it is revealed.
Well, we'll know it because he will demand it. You will take this mark of the beast, and you, at that same time, when you take this mark, you will worship him. That's where you lose. That's where you go to the point of no return. You take that mark, you've separated yourself from the Most High for all eternity.
Because you got to look at it like this, and there's a good case for it. Now, if it's separating you from being in the everlasting covenant with the Most High God, what does that mark entail? A changing of your philosophical values, changing of your thought process. It changes a lot of different things internally within your soul.
Correct.
So this technology is not just something that you can see on your right hand or your forehead. It is something that is deep within your soul. It completely breaks that chain from you and the Most High God.
Right.
And we're seeing the steps taking place right before our eyes with this gene editing technology, as well as those other tattoos and implementations that are going under your skin and stuff like that. But they're not together just yet because the Antichrist hasn't been revealed.
Right. Yeah, and when it is revealed, and understand again, the mark of the beast, it can't be forced upon you. It can't be sneaked into your food, or that you can't be held down and given it. You have to take it willingly, and at that moment when you take it, you will. When you take it, you will worship the beast. It says that's in the Revelation that at that moment you cannot buy or sell, and you will worship him. So those are the things that you have to look for. So are these things preparing us and paving the way and softening society to accept this when it gets here? Absolutely. You know what? I've always said that hunger is a motivator, and you can sit there. And I actually got into an argument with somebody the other day because they were like, about the mark of the beast. And I said, they're like, if you accept the mark of the beast, you never really were saved in the first place. And I said, I have to tend to disagree with you on that. Because, like I said, hunger is a motivator. You can't tell me that when the time comes, and it will, and it is, and it's coming, okay? There is going to be food shortages out there. There's going to be electrical, heat shortages, electrical shortages, gas shortages. There's going to be shortages straight across the board on everything. We're going to be, to the point of Venezuela, guys. Okay. We are. We're almost to the point. We are going to be Venezuela, probably within the next couple of years. You can't tell me that a saved person who loves God with all their heart, body, soul, mind isn't going to be tempted when they see their little child starving, their eyes sunk in. Mommy, I'm hungry. Daddy, I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. They're dying. A bus pulls up and somebody comes out, a soldier, and says, hey, come with us. We'll take care of you. We'll let you bathe. We'll give you food. We'll give you water. We'll give you medicine. Your child will live. You can't tell me that a parent's not going to accept that. All you got to do is take the mark. A lot of saved people are going to fall.
And those who are not saved, God is going to pull such a strong delusion over your eyes that you won't even know the difference.
Exactly. It's coming. It is. I mean, we're talking about the Fed now coming in July. We're looking at China and Russia and Saudi Arabia. They're going to be collapsing the petro. Guys, we are on the verge of becoming. I can't even warn you enough. Actually, you know what? Didn't I post something about that the other day? Where did I post it? Did I post it over on Global Watchman, or did I post it on mine? I think I posted it on ESWG. Let me pull it up real quick, because it gave us where we are on the timeline of where we are with Venezuela, becoming Venezuela. And give me just a minute. Okay. It wasn't on. It must have been my personal wall. I don't post a lot. Goodness gracious. Wow.
Well, I'm not even on Facebook much. He'll come to me and be like, hey, have you seen this and such? I'm like, no.
Nope. Here we go. I got it.
I despise it because, social media is a big part of conditioning people into their agendas.
I know it is, but unfortunately, it seems Facebook is the biggest next to YouTube. The biggest draw of an audience. So, Venezuelan timeline: 1992 became third richest country in the hemisphere. 1997 became the second largest purchaser of F-150s. 2001 voted for socialist president, income equality. 2004 private health care is completely socialized. 2007 all higher education becomes free. 2009 socialists ban private ownership of guns. 2012 Bernie Sanders praises their American dream. 2014 opposition leaders are imprisoned. That's about right where we are, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
2016 food and healthcare shortages become widespread.
I would even say we're right. 2016.
Yeah. And unarmed citizens massacred by their own government. Notice what they did. Notice they 2009 socialists banned private ownership of guns, and then 10 years later they were massacred by their own government. That is why we have the Second Amendment. That's why we have the right to bear arms, to protect ourselves from a government that infringes upon our rights.
Yeah, and we're coming up with a huge invasion that's coming from the south. It's not just Mexican, but it's Chinese as well.
Yeah.
I think they racked up 500,000 Chinese people over the past 3 months.
It's things are happening.
Sure.
Things are happening so fast. It's hard to keep track of everything. I mean, I don't know, but all I got to say is I'm pretty worked up about this whole Dalai Lama thing. If you're out there and you're touching children and you think you're going to get away with it, I want you to understand one thing. You may not be seen by the parents. You may not be seen by the teachers. You may not be seen by your husband or your wife. You may not be seen by your children. You may not be seen by your neighbors, but you will be seen by God, and you will stand before him one day, and you will answer for what you have done to a child.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't want to be in your shoes.
You know, the part that says Jesus, when Jesus was talking about if people would come up to him and say, "Have I not done good works in your name? Have I not done what you wanted me to do?" And he says, "Depart from me, ye workers of iniquity." That goes along the same fashion. We got these religious leaders that's, you know, trying to portray an image of doing things that is godly, doing good works, having these charitable foundations and stuff like that. But did they really know him? No, because look at what they do behind the scenes. You
Yeah.
are who you are when no one is looking.
Look at what they do behind the scenes. Look at what this scumbag did behind the scenes. Well, not even behind the scenes, in public.
Because people are so conditioned to it nowadays, they feel comfortable doing this in public.
Yeah, he did. He felt very comfortable doing that.
Because look at the audience. They were laughing.
Yeah. And they're going to answer for that too. They're going to answer for that too. Where were you to protect that child? It is our responsibility to protect these children. Absolutely 100%. These children are a gift from God. Children are a precious gift from God. And as adults, we have the privilege and responsibility to care for them. Pray for all children's protection and safety, and help children around us live the full and abundant life that God desires for them. Sadly, love and security aren't the reality for hundreds of millions of children who suffer from sexual exploitation, labor in hazardous conditions, and struggle to survive on the streets.
Mary asks, why do these things have no fear of God? They know he exists. Satan knows his days are numbered. That's the point. They know God exists within the souls, within the self-conscious region. But the devil put such a strong delusion on these people that they don't care. They're getting the riches of this world. They're getting all the delicacies. They get to do whatever they want because Satan is the prince of the power of the air.
Yeah.
So they have this for a short time, but without reading the Bible, they do not realize that Satan's time is short. And by not reading the Bible, they don't know what's going to happen to them once judgment comes.
Exactly.
And that's the point. That's that delusion. If you're not saved and washed by the blood of our Lord Jesus Christ, then you are doomed to be deceived from the serpent. You're doomed to endure, to have the wiles of the devil flowing through your veins. You're doomed into not having that relationship with the Most High.
You're going to answer for it, especially when a child is involved, especially when another human being is involved. Has our moral decay gotten so bad that we just turn a blind eye on what's going on? 800,000 children every year.
This is just this part of the world, guys.
That's just this part. And that's, what did I say? That's 91 children every day go missing. Yep. Through and your phone should be blowing up. We're not.
No, not at all.
Children are expendable. Children are, what goes on behind closed doors. It breaks my heart.
We're living through the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, and soon we'll be living through the days of Noah, because all the disclosure and stuff is going to come into fruition. And as Lot experienced, so will God's elect, and we're going to be going through it, but it's going to be on a much grander scale. The Bible talks about how these time has never been before witnessed in history.
Yeah.
It's only going to get worse from here.
We were talking about this earlier, and I said to you, I can't even imagine if the world is just this horrific now. Literally, it's just every day it's something. And Sodom and Gomorrah, oh my God, I can't imagine what was going on there.
Yeah. These people, they don't have consciousness anymore.
Yeah, moral. They have no moral compass. They
Right.
literally have no moral compass.
They are completely departed from the everlasting God,
Yeah.
the divine being who created them.
You know,
What do you think they're going to do? That's why I keep saying it over and over and over again. This is a spiritual battle. You are choosing one side or the other. There's no neutrality in this. When you
Right.
deny one, you're automatically worshiping the other. There's no choice in that matter.
Yeah.
Now humans, they want to be in control of their own destiny. The thing is, you're not created to be in control of your own
No, you're
destiny.
not.
You are created to worship and love God. But since the serpent begot Adam and Eve, now
Yeah.
you have the choice to do one or the
No, we're
other.
under the curse. We're under the curse now. Have you heard the new thing? I don't know how new it is. I think I just heard it a few months ago. They're talking about I have a voice in my head. I have an inner voice, and I've always had it, and it's always communicated. But do you know there's people that don't have that inner voice? To me, that's my conscience. What do you think it is? The Holy
It could be a
Spirit?
number of different
I
things.
mean,
Because demons can whisper in your ear as well.
no. I know that. No, I'm talking about this one. Your voice of reason, your voice that tells you run when you're in danger. The voice that says no, don't do that. You're gonna get in trouble with mom if you take that candy.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm
now.
talking
Yeah.
about the voice of the voice of reason in your head, the voice of your conscience in your head, the voice that keeps you out of trouble, or for the most part. But I guess some people don't have that voice.
Right. And I mean, it goes back to what I was saying. Jesus said that he placed a law into your hearts. Okay, so it is in your DNA. You are created. God's laws is created in your DNA.
Yeah, you know the
It,
difference between right and wrong.
exactly. You
Yeah,
know what to do instinctively because God programmed it into you. It's like
but
you
there's
looking at a computer. You program it to perform certain tasks at a certain time frame. Like when you
yeah,
press a key and a let word comes up, or you press a three key function to open up certain menu systems and stuff like
right.
that. That is God's design into our body. He
Into your
designed
DNA.
us exactly.
Well, some people don't have that, and I wonder if those are the people that are the serial killers out there that don't have that voice telling them you might not want to do that. That's wrong. That's
Mhm.
bad.
Well, look at it like a computer virus. What happens when a computer virus happens? You get exploits. Those exploits can lead to certain things being stolen from the computer and actually can render your computer worthless and
Yeah.
useless. Same thing as when the devil enters to your system. He corrupts your DNA. He
Mm.
corrupts your mind. He corrupts your soul.
I just
And
don't
just like a
know.
leech attaching onto something, the devil will have complete control over your actions.
But Ernie, I just don't understand how there are some people out there that don't have that voice telling them don't touch that child.
Because they don't have nobody around them
Ugh.
to rebuke them in the name of Jesus. When you're demonically possessed, you remain demonically possessed until you have deliverance. If they don't have deliverance, they're going to continue doing what they're doing.
All I got to say is that if you are a parent, watch your child. Always know where your child is. Always have a plan with your child. If you get separated, keep an eye on your child. If you have a teenager, make sure that you have the lines of communication open with your teenager, that you always know where they are, that you don't give your child too much leeway. I mean, they're children. They need some sort of structure. And if a child comes to you, Mom, if you've got that gut feeling, women, I'm talking to the women. You were given a gift by God. It's called your gut feeling. Don't you ever second guess that feeling. If your gut tells you there is something wrong, there is something wrong. And you guys, each and every one of you that's hearing my voice for now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. Every time I've not listened to my gut feeling, that gut voice, something bad has happened. You know what I'm talking about. If you think there's a possibility that your child could be in danger, don't dismiss that feeling. Go with it. Protect your children.
And that's a problem too nowadays. We don't have as many parents with backbones anymore. They let the kids run the house because they're too afraid that they're going to get charges pressed against them, or they're going to have their kids taken away.
Yeah.
When you build a godly household with the foundation of Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior and head of the household, you ain't got to worry about all that. Trust me.
Yeah, if you give your child a foundation, that's true. But unfortunately, there are, since the moral decay of our society has been happening since the 50s, since the 60s, since the hippie movement, the feminist movement. We've got, now you're two household incomes, latchkey children, public school system having more hands-on with your child than you do. There are just so many different avenues that your child is in jeopardy. And I'm just so I know this is righteous anger. I get that. I'm just so angry right now that people not only would laugh in the background when he was doing that to that child, but that there are actually people on social media and on mainstream media right now protecting that piece of shit.
Oh yeah. Hey, you're gonna see that more and more. I mean, there's no getting around it. We see these agendas just coming into fruition right before our very eyes, and people are just backing it left and right.
Well, if you think there's nothing wrong with it, if you're one of those people that is going to go up against somebody for making a police report against a predator, or trying to catch a predator, or doing these things, if you're one of those people that is going to sit there and turn it around and protect the predator and attack the person who's going after that predator to bring them to justice, you're just as much of a piece of crap as the person who has betrayed that child. You should be worshiping the ground these these people that go out there and catch these predators, getting these people off the street. You should be supporting them. Why would you be turning on them and defending the pieces of shit they're getting off the street? It's just it's mind-boggling.
You might as well have committed the act if you were
exactly. You might as well have done it yourself, because when the time comes, you're going to stand in front of the Most High and you're going to have to be accounted for the things that you did. You didn't stand up for that child. You stood up for the predator. Why? Answer to it.
Yeah. And this goes to show you what's going on in today's world. In 2 Timothy 3, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truth breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. From such turn away, for of this sort they are which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away by diverse lusts, even learning and never able to come to the knowledge of truth.
Remember that.
So we're witnessing all this right now.
Yes, we are.
And this child stuff is nothing but lustful incantations from the demon himself.
Exactly. All right, guys, I'm going to put the link in the chat room for you guys. This is our backup channel. For some reason, if YouTube decides to nuke our channel overnight for bringing this to you, to talking about this, for saying the things that we've said, that's where you will find us. And make sure you're subscribed to that channel. I don't have anything else to say. I'm
Get your
so
houses in
blessed.
order.
I'm so thankful that my children are all adults. My youngest is 23. She's an adult. She's actually works for NASA, which I think is kind of, it's a NASA. She works for a, what is it called? A subcontractor for NASA with her brother. And, when I first came on social media, I didn't talk about my kids for that reason, because I still had a young child and I didn't want her put out there, and I didn't want her subjected to, the evils of social media. I am so grateful and thankful that my children are all grown up now, and I don't have to worry about that. But I still have to worry about, the other children in my family. And I worry about, I worry about my friends' children, because, things happen. God forbid if you get somebody mad at you and they send CPS to your house and, righteous anger. That's what I have, is righteous anger. I'm so angry.
You have every right to be, and so should everybody else. But guys, protect your kids. Build your foundation on the rock, which is the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Because without him in our lives, are we not any different than what these people are? I'm just saying it. I'm just putting it out there.
I know. All right, guys.
So.
We are going to end this for tonight. We are going to be back tomorrow night with Big John. We're going to be talking about what we were going to do last week, which was World War II and how the Nazis won the war.
Yep. They're still here.
They're still here. So, all right, I'm going to put all the descriptions in the, or put all the links in the description area for you guys to take a look at. And we will be back tomorrow. If you don't see us here tomorrow night, go over there to the other channel, because that's where we'll be. Thanks, Ernie.
Thank you, Lori.
I want to thank everybody in the chat room for joining us. I want to thank all of our moderators. And until next time, guys, remember, eyes open, no fear.